This is James Lupton, delighted to join with Benn, Shalom. We're here in Poland. Ben, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. We've had the open workout today, Alen, Babic and Lukasz, Rozanski.
Yeah.
Second leg of your European tour out in Paris last month. How are you finding Poland?
You know what, it's just great to be in a place where they're so excited. They can't quite believe what's going on. And that's good, and that's always the nice thing. Poland, we see the fans come out whenever we have a Polish fighter in the UK. We've got Paweł Stepian against Babic coming up. We've had Clarke, who sells a load of tickets. Connor's been over in the US. He sells bundles of tickets. They're proper fans, and so we knew that it made sense to come out here. Obviously, Slislak's been in the UK as well, and we were speaking to KO Promotions a lot about how can we do something proper over here, and it's quite hard to get a balance of can we get a show that's going to appeal to the Polish fans and sell out the arena and be great on Polish TV and also resonate in the UK. And this fight made sense, this main event made sense, but the rest of the card as well. So yeah, delighted, and hopefully it's the start of a long-term project.
Absolutely. Now, the fans came out today for Lukasz Rozanski. You know, the noise when he came out, and he'd done a little ring walk to the workout today. Do you think this atmosphere is going to be not frightening, but something that Babic hasn't faced before?
That's it. It's not something Babic will have faced. This is pretty heavy stuff, and but he's loving it, and he can't wait for it. And look, they're both guys that only know one way. Let's be honest. It's not the most technical fight in the world. It's not Spence Crawford. It's not Garcia Tank, is it? But it's two unbeaten knockout specialists fighting for a world title in front of a huge arena. For me, for a casual fan, and for someone wanting to get into boxing, this is perfect. And you've got two absolute characters about to go to war. And not only is it not going the distance, it might even not go 6 rounds. This is going to be pure entertainment, and what's not to like. And as I say, as you said, Babic is going to have to contest with a huge crowd and home advantage, and he's coming to Poland to try and win a world title, and he'll think, well, I've got to knock him out. Well, for me, it's not going to points anyway, so may the best man win. I think Babic is a slight favourite. I expect him to do the business. I've been so impressed with how he has approached the whole week, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Just want to turn away from this fight night. Today, some news came out. UKAD have provisionally suspended Conor Benn. It seems to be sort of going on a little bit. Conor Benn's obviously still denying any sort of liability towards what has happened. Just give me your thoughts on that.
I just think it's in the right hands now, and obviously everyone's been talking about it for a long time. I hope this is the end of it now, and yeah, it's in the right hands. We have to learn from it. The board have to learn from it. UKAD have to learn from it. We got to work about how we tackle drugs in boxing on a world level, on a world scale. And now it's with UKAD and WADA. I think it's in the right hands, and we can stop talking about it, stop worrying about it. We don't want boxing to be associated with drugs, and that's all we talk about. I mean, it's been a tough time for the sport. I'm not saying who's guilty, and I don't know what's happened, but I know it's in the right hands, and I'm relieved, and I think a lot of people in boxing are relieved, and that's nothing against anyone. It will now be dealt with, and whatever happens, happens. I think no one can argue with that.
Just on that topic, I've got to mention Amir. He promoted his last fight. He obviously was found tested positive after that fight. Just mentioned that, and obviously he got a 2-year ban. He's accepted that. Obviously there's no knowing that he took the drug. However, he is retired, so it seems a bit of a mockery really that he's been banned when he's not going to fight anyway.
It is, but at the end of the day, it was a post-fight test. He's not fought since, and UKAD have dealt with it. What more can they do? Look, read the report, and you start to get into it. But again, we're not the regulators of the sport. I don't think UKAD could have done any more in that situation. Yes, it was embarrassing as a promoter not to know, but ultimately, it's not UKAD's duty to let us know. And he's not been in a fight since. And for me, that's the way things should be dealt with. It should go to UKAD, who govern not just boxing, but all sports around in the UK and around the world. And yeah, hopefully now the Conor Benn situation's in a good situation in terms of being dealt with, and we can all move on and hopefully, as I say, learn from it, because the last thing we want to be doing is discussing the regulations around drugs in boxing. It should be pretty straightforward.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some highs in boxing. Saturday night, Las Vegas, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Great fight, super fight. It's a fight we don't really see because fighters don't want to fight the best. But these two are stepping up and they're stepping in against each other. What do you make of that fight and give me a prediction?
Very excited, delighted it's happening. I think for every boxing fan, it's a special fight. I think what has to be said is Ryan Garcia, at 24 years old, is, for me, an exemplary guy in boxing. He's come out and been open about his problems and his mental health problems and everything. And yet, at 24 years old, he's willing to go in the toughest fight possible. That's special. That doesn't happen often, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think in terms of the fight, I'd like to see Ryan win, but it's hard to look past Gervonta just with the experience. I think in the later rounds that might prove too much. But what a fight. Well done for DAZN getting that on, because I think it's a special fight for boxing. It should happen, obviously. I'm surprised that I don't think I've seen as much coverage as I'd have expected in the UK. I know it's massive in the US, but it's a proper special fight, and I'll be up on Sunday morning, definitely, in Poland, and I can't wait. And yeah, credit to Ryan Garcia, one of my favourite guys in boxing. And to do that, he's showing how it should be done. And as I say, 24 years old, jumping into that, fair play. Really, really, really credit him.
We talk about taking fights that may not be needed or some people wouldn't step up to fight. Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clarke. Talk about that. It's been ordered by the board.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised it was ordered, in the sense he's had 6 fights. He's fought 1 8-rounder, and you've got fighters that I won't name in their 11th, 12th fight. Plenty of 10-rounders, plenty of 12-rounders, and they're nowhere near it. So that was one surprising thing. I think for me, Fraser Clarke has to go way beyond this level. It's exciting that there's a domestic names and domestic division for him to get stuck into, and that's what I'm excited about. We'll see. I've not really spent too much time looking at it. Obviously, I think when we get back from Poland, we'll sit down and see what we want to do. But yeah, fair play. I think Fraser Clarke's the biggest name coming through out of that crop. And ultimately, people want to get him as early as possible in his career to give themselves any chance. But for me, yeah, Fraser Clarke needs to be thinking bigger. Not disrespectfully, by the way. This is a great fight, and he's lucky that he's got names like that he can go and fight early on in his career. But he'll feel like he's a level above, and he'll want to prove that.
Could we see a return for KELL BROOK?
I think so. I think a lot could ride on what happens with Smith and Eubank. I think he'll probably be looking at that fight as the natural creation of his next opponent. So let's not look beyond that fight. I'm hoping that can be announced imminently. I think it's a fight I think the same people, as I say, that said that Eubank had no chance, said that Smith had no chance the first time, are the same people saying Eubank had no chance. Eubank had to go through 2 very, very grueling weight cuts and the camps, and I think it's a special fight. I think it's a fight the fans want to see, and when you've got a fighter that knows it's an absolute must-win. I mean, Eubank was on cloud 9 for a long time, one of the most popular fighters in the UK, making a lot of money. That would have come as a shell shocker, particularly that 4th round, and he'll be dangerous this fight. I still make Liam the favourite, but he'll be dangerous, and yeah, I think we'll see that, and then I think KELL will be watching that fight closely.
You say that's a special fight. The last question is about another special fight. Lauren Price, Kirsty Babington, the first ever female British title.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you get that to happen? And secondly, how excited are you to be done in history?
Yeah, really excited. We did the first women's night last year, and I know boxing fans will say, certain boxing fans will be like, we don't give a shit, but this is a piece of history. If women fighting is a big thing, like not just for sport, but for like there's not many things you can say women can't do if they can fight, and I think that needs to be remembered. And I think it actually goes beyond what boxing can do with women's sport, goes beyond just boxing. And so to be able to, we've been battling for a long time to get the British title for a female. Obviously now we're starting to see the depth of the stables, depth of the divisions that we've never seen before. So it wasn't possible. Lauren Price in her 3rd, 4th fight, so I'm jumping with Babington, shows where she's going to go. But yeah, British title, momentous occasion. Thank you to the board, thank you to boxing. I think it shows how far we've come since only 25 years ago. To be here with a British title between 2 women is a special moment. And for Lauren Price, she makes history again on a big card. in a big fight early on in the career, and yeah, really delighted. And as I say, thank you to the board for allowing us to put on the first one.
That's it. That's May the 6th on the Boy at the undercard. But Ben, thank you for your time. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out.